Okay, so this is another video. We're going to be doing a review of the Freespirit Recreation Odyssey V2 XL rooftop tent. I have used this tent once now, and if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it somewhere up here. It's very, very slim, which is nice. It packs down very, very tight. However, there are some pros and cons to it. So I'm going to put a little action camera on my chest so you can kind of see a POV. We'll get this thing opened up, and you can kind of see the pros and cons. I'll talk through opening it, closing it, what you can store in it and leave in it, and what you can't, and all those good details. So first talking point on this is going to be the ladder. I do have the tent open, so I'm going to cut to that here in just a second of opening it and the process of opening it. However, this is kind of where the first, I wouldn't say problem, but first kind of thing that I wish FSR did differently is in the ladder itself. In the V2 edition of this compared to the V1 that I had before on my red truck, the ladder is all black, which is great. I love the look of it. I think it looks way better than the silver or chrome that was on the last one. However, this scratches very easily and shows nicks, dings, wear, tear a lot faster than that silver or chrome will. I already have a couple spots. This is still pretty muddy from the trip that I just went on, the weekend getaway. But this is going to show nicks, stings, scratches, wear and tear a whole lot faster than the other one. So I do wish that this came with a bag. It is a very nice ladder, and I think FSR did a great job. I think it's awesome. It doesn't like collapse or move a whole lot. I just wish it came with a bag, especially where this tent, you can't store this in the tent. This has to stay in its own location, in the truck, in your car, wherever. It does not fit in the tent with it closed. You can see, and this is partially user error, however, this is good as to show one of the screws for the ladder bracket, which I installed. You have to install it yourself. One of the screws wasn't tightened all the way, which I thought it was, and I went out and it just sat there and rubbed and scratched this step all up while I was setting it up for the first time in my driveway, and making sure everything was fitting right. So this was sliding around, moving, and I didn't realize that a screw head was sitting out, not flush, and basically just scratched this. So I'm not blaming FSR for that at all. However, I do wish going forward, like instead of just bouncing around in the bed of my truck, that this came with a bag. So I found a bag on Amazon that's roughly this dimension. I will see if the ladder will fit in that size of bag, and if it does, great. I will link it in the next video, but I do wish, that's my first kind of complaint or issue that I can see arising with this new V2 edition that they came out with. That's more of a blacked out features and trim. I just wish that this came with the bag. One thing that changes the V2 compared to the V1 is this bag that this comes with. It's a soft just cover basically, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8 buckles that secure it down. So to open the tent, we're just gonna basically come around and undo all the buckles. And it gets a little tricky on these front ones. What I have found is it's easiest to open the door, climb in the truck, and just reach over. And the nice thing about this setup and the V2 is that this cover is completely optional. You do not have to have it. It's something if you want to, it's great. These buckles that these clip into come off very easily. You can basically just thread it through itself, and then this comes off entirely. So if you're not one to want to cover, very easy to take off. So after undoing all the buckles, it does have a little bungee down here on the bottom. Just stretch it over the top. And bingo, bango, bongo. Your tent can pretty much slide right off if it's kind to you. Oftentimes I find that at least one corner gets caught. So let's run back around to this side here. Okay, so climb back up here. This basically just gets caught on the latch to unlock the tent. So if you undo that part, it comes off. So after undoing that, you can slide the whole thing off very easily. And this is what the top of it looks like. It has Freespirit Recreation on it, FSR on I think every side, all 4 sides. So they went with a green kind of decal look on the V2. This V2 compared to the V1. Kind of interesting. Green's not really my style, I would say, but you know, to each their own. Especially on something where you black it all out, I would black out the FSR, but it is what it is. To open the tent itself, it's pretty easy. All you gotta do is just unlock these 4 latches, which are adjustable. You can spin them. Let's see if I can get a little closer. You can spin them and then tighten that little nut here to your desired thickness or height that you need. So undo these 4, and this is pretty easy to reach even without opening the door, and it's nice because it doesn't hit the roof. So after undoing all 4 latches, it's very simple. I don't have the ladder set up, but you can basically, I mean, just grab about midway on one side and lift, and the whole thing opens up. Okay, so with ladder in hand, basically easiest way is to sit down, pull this up, hook it into these loops, make sure it's nice and flush, and then pull this out to the safe and correct kind of distance. You can adjust the steps very easily. I do like this ladder a lot. Like I said, I just wish, you can kind of see here in these parts, it's just starting to show a wear, a little bit of wear. Some of that's mud and dirt, but like this here is scuff, and that comes out a little bit, but over time that's going to show more and more. And this is only after one outing with this ladder, so I do wish, really wish this came with a bag, just to help kind of protect it. But these steps, though this is muddy, they do have little locked icons, so you can make sure that your steps are locked into place. And then there is this string here, this rope. Basically, you take this little strap, loop it around something, tie it back into itself, and you can tighten it. Just helps keep this secure so it doesn't slide out from under you as you start to put weight on the very top here. With your ladder set into place, very easy to climb up. And once you do, you do have 2 ladder bags, or excuse me, you do have 2 shoe bags, one on each side here. Very, very nice. And the first big change that you will see from the V1 to the V2 is the fabric design. The fabric is this hexagon kind of pattern now, and all blacked out, where they used to have some silver or gray accents. It's all blacked out. And my favorite change that they've made is this U-bar. So the U-bar basically pops out. I'm going to open this up here so we can crawl inside and set this up. So, actually, I'm going to roll this up here just to show the inside of the tent a little bit easier. So bear with me a second. And this is not going to be a pretty roll up. You can roll this up a lot nicer. These shoe bags here are very nice. They are big. I do have an 11 size shoe, and it fits both of my shoes very easily. This one does have a tool bag, so it does fit some extra parts and pieces, a patch kit for the vinyl if something happens, a tear or rip, you can easily repair that, and you've got one on each side. You can take these off if you don't want them. You just unbuckle them here, very easy to remove. With the door rolled up, it's a lot easier to crawl in. Crawl inside here. So you have this bar above your head. You basically undo this latch. This pole extends and connects to the U-bar. Clicks into place. You push this out until it's nice and tight. Lock it into place just with this little lock, and then zip this back up. And your tent is set up. When you're not recording and trying to make sure everything's in frame, you can have this whole thing set up in less than a minute easily. So with power bank in hand, crawl back up here, give us some extra light inside this tent. So you do have 4 of these kind of bags or pouches. which are definitely nice. Let's see. It's perfect. We got power. So a big difference you will see here between the V1 and the V2 as well is this adjustable light bar. Towards the end of the V1s, they did release this where you could add this after the fact, but now they come standard with this adjustable light bar. So you can turn it on and off. You can change the brightness of it. You do have a big back screen right here that you can open, help with ventilation against the back wall here, condensation throughout the night. Close it up if you're cold, you need to retain that heat. The side windows here are all meshed, so you can leave your windows open and keep the bugs out, which is nice. And with these closed, it stays really dark in here throughout the morning. One thing that I noticed that I thought was very nicely done is the change on the zipper tags here. On the V1, they were a rubber kind of hard zipper tag, which was nice. Like, they were great, they felt really good and they were sturdy. However, when you close the tent, if they bent or didn't lay perfectly flat, they typically broke. And so it is nice, like, these are big, very easy to pull, the zippers are very high quality, don't snag, that sort of thing. So the tent itself is a really nice big size tent, and I will put on the dimensions of the inside here as well. Another big thing from the V1 to the V2 are these diesel exhaust ports. You have diesel ports for a diesel heater or propane heater, whatever you want to run, on both sides, the front and rear of the tent, and you can adjust it. You can cinch this tube closed, which is nice. There is a little Velcro tab, so if you're not running a heater, you can close this, make sure bugs and stuff don't get in. These are also nice if you want to run cords up here, you know, from a battery station or a second battery setup you might have on your vehicle. The tent itself is a sealed floor, so you can't, there's a foam pad under here. You cannot access that pad. Here's that other diesel port here. Fits a good size tube. I've never ran a diesel heater, so I'm not sure exactly what size this is, or like what size is pretty standard. The opening does seem pretty good sized, I would imagine. Pretty common. The main door here, I have rolled up just to give some light and show, but you can close the screen and it's basically done the opposite of these side doors. So the screen is your first layer, and then that tri-layer outside is what's on the outside of the tent, whereas these, the tri-layers on the inside, the screen is on the outside. This top zipper does go the whole length of the tent. This is another one of my complaints that I wish that I think would be a pretty simple solution that I might try to remedy myself with just some adhesive Velcro. But it might be hard to see on camera, but there is quite a bit of roof sag, and I'm not sure if that's adjustable through some corner points, just tightening the shell to the U-bar in the frame. But this roof does have quite a bit of sag. Like, I'm 5'11", and if I sit in certain areas, this rubs my head, and so that's a little annoying in my opinion. So I think just a couple Velcro, see if I can open this up and show. Basically, if you had a Velcro to the rainfly and then this wall, if you could Velcro stick it up and just hold it up higher, that'd be nice. But besides that, love the tent. Very high quality. It's very well done. The foam mattress itself, I'm not sure what size or thickness they claim it to be, but I think it's about an inch thick is what it feels like. This is where your foam pad sits underneath. Yeah, I think it's about an inch thick is all. Another thing here that the V2 comes standard with now is the AirCore 3-inch mattress topper. They are an inflatable mattress topper, and I actually bought one of these for my first tent, the V1, and it was great. Adds a, you know, just a little extra cushion and comfort to the tent, and compacts down. I mean, for how big it is, it inflates into, I'd say a pretty good size. Okay, so I'm gonna take this bad boy, take him up into here, and this claims to be self-inflating. Okay, there we go. So this guy claims to be self-inflating. You just unscrew both of these and you can basically let it do its own thing, open it up. But if you really want some good support, you are going to want some sort of an air pump just to give it enough firmness to actually support you throughout the night. I haven't had any problems with these like leaking or deflating throughout the night yet. They do have kind of a soft feel to them. Okay, so funny enough, I actually bought this off of TikTok Shop. It's a little portable inflator or deflator with a little light. I haven't tried this yet, but I am excited to see if it'll work to inflate and deflate these toppers, because I have two of them. Like I said, this comes with one, and then I had one previously from my original tent. So I got a little bit more air out of it. Anyways, I will continue to do some testing on this and see if it's really worth it, or basically if it's worth buying an inflator like this, or better just to let it do its own thing naturally. So like I said, it does come with this. I have never tried to close this with it in it. This tent is not one, if you like to leave your bedding, pillows, sleeping bags, blankets, whatever you like to sleep with, if you plan on leaving things in the tent and want to just leave it in there and pack it away and not have to take it into your vehicle, this is not the tent for you. This tent packs down to only 7 inches thick when it's closed, which is awesome. It makes it super sleek, way less air resistance as you're driving down the road. It's way sleek, which I personally really like. I wanted something that wasn't going to create a whole lot of drag and resistance as I'm driving down the road. With my last setup, I was basically able to have this sit perfectly at roofline, so I could still go, you know, 80 plus down the freeway and not have any problems or worries of it coming flying off. I have driven 70 with this, and it seems to be fine. I think that they only recommend you go 70 with a tent like this. I do plan on getting extra support so I can tie the tent down here at this center brace. Right now it's just at the front and the rear. But yeah, and that is pretty much the tent. My favorite part of this V2 compared to the V1 is this U-bar. It is static now, so you don't have to click it up into place. It's already at its designated height. All you got to do is lift it up, and that is wonderful. I love that. The last one became quite a pain trying to get this to click up into place to get to the right height. And now that it's already at that right height, it's awesome. It's way easier to set up, way faster to set up, a lot less headache. You do have a rain fly on top here. It is adjustable. It does click into all the framing, all the bars here, just with some loops, some fabric loops, so you can go through and tighten these as needed, adjust them as needed. This angle might show the droop pretty good. Let's see if I can show that. So there's quite a bit of roof sag, and again, I don't quite have this top bar pushed as hard as I normally do, but there still is quite a bit of roof droop, which is pretty frustrating. I do wish that sat higher or had some attachment points to the rain fly, just so you had some more headroom in here. I'm gonna see if I can close this with this in here. I would love it if I could. Basically, to close the tent, undo that top zipper, find the little brace or bracket thing here, undo it, disconnect that top bar. Sorry, this is a little hard to do, so I'll try to hold the camera or angle the camera. So that top bar is connected right here on the front U-bar. So if you disconnect this, go back under here, you can lock this bar into its closed position, so it's doesn't extend out on you. And then I actually put it back up into the roof and zip this closed. So basically you just let that U-bar fall down onto itself. After dropping the U-bar, throw these two shoe bags up into the tent, and that's easiest to climb a little bit higher on your ladder or even onto the tent itself. Just grab the top here and gently pull down, pulling in the two sides while you close. Just tucking everything in, making sure nothing's sticking out. There is a very nice weather seal on the top here, help keep dust and rain out while you're driving down the road. Looks like everything's tucked in pretty good. Just pull this down a little bit. Latches are super easy. Simply lift up, hook it, pull down. Very easy, sits very flush. Nice that those are adjustable as needed. Lock them into place. Got a little bit of a storm brewing. Oh, a little bit of rain coming, it feels like. Anyways, with all of those closed, that's it. Your tent's done. It's put away. Very easy, very fast. Like I said, it does pack down very, very slim. It is nice to see that it does fit the air topper in there and closes. So with all this being said, the tent is put away. It takes less than a minute to set up, less than a minute to take down. The only variable is putting, if you're going to put that soft bag on top, that does take a little bit more time and a little bit more finagling, but nothing more than a minute or two. So very easy. You can put camp away in a matter of a few minutes, which is awesome. You know, there's people that go online and proclaim that their tent can go up or down in 45 seconds or a minute and 15, and in the grand scheme of things, that extra 15-20 seconds, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. It is nice to have your camp set up fast or taken down fast, but those extra few seconds are no big deal. It is what it is. This one, while it is open, does have a little bit of a rain cover because of the angle that that U-bar sits at. If you were to sit inside and leave that main door open, like if it's raining or you just want to hang out in your tent, you do get a little bit of rain cover just because of how far that U-bar pokes out. You'd be sitting underneath the cover pretty much. Highly recommend. The V2 has been great. I love it. I love the design changes. I love that it's all murdered out now. I think it looks really good. It's very comfortable. It's insulated very well. I highly recommend FSR products. This is not sponsored. The 80 subscribers that I have, I wish I was sponsored, but not. This is all paid for by yours truly. So anyways, highly recommend it. There are always pros and cons to rooftop tents or ground tents, and maybe I'll do a breakdown of pros and cons of both. That's pretty much it. The tent's great. The only real complaints I have are the ladder bag, that there's no ladder bag, that there is no, I wish that there was some way to get that roof up a little higher from sagging in the middle, just give you a little more headroom. And besides that, that's pretty much it.